Okay, so the Paper Mario franchise as a whole has been a roller coaster to say the least. We start off nicely with Paper Mario. The things start to get amazing with the 1,000-Year Door. Then we took a few weird but still enjoyable turns with Super Paper Mario. And then it slows down like you're on a kiddie ride with Sticker Star and you just want to jump out before you head into Color Splash. The die-hard Paper Mario fans have been given a rough treatment lately as their beloved series just keeps spitting out concepts that aren't as appealing as they used to be, with Nintendo vaguely implying that they have no intention to make another game similar to the first two games. For one reason or another, Nintendo has taken their most creative property that gave us an amazing RPG full of amazing characters and dumbed it down to a paper gimmick version of their typical Mario platformers. Out of the blue, like literally 2 months before release, Nintendo announces that a new Paper Mario game was going to be released very soon for the Nintendo Switch. I've never really seen Nintendo make such a sudden announcement before, but it was fascinating to hear that a new Paper Mario game was coming out so soon. Fascinating in a good or bad way is up to everyone's interpretation. On one hand, we noticed that there were cute little characters following us like in the first two games, and it seemed to return to the open world structure, unlike the stupid hub worlds from Sticker Star and Color Splash. On the other hand, it looked like another paper gimmicky game, but using origami this time. We were all excited, but still feeling the burn from the last two games. So after playing the game myself, how would I rank this game with the others? As you can see here, this arrangement tends to be the most popular ranking amongst the fans of the franchise. 1,000-Year Door being the best out of all of them, followed by Paper Mario, Super Paper Mario, Color Splash, and Kill It With Fire. I for one have played all of these titles except Color Splash because there wasn't really any Wii U titles that could convince me to buy the console itself, but I've seen enough playthroughs to understand everyone's frustrations. Like, Nintendo really wanted you to use that gamepad, but it ultimately created the worst battling mechanic in Paper Mario history. I honestly agree with this arrangement, but where would I place the Origami King? Well then, call me Lucy because I have some explaining to do. Since the first two Paper Marios were turn-based RPGs, we tend to identify good Paper Mario games with that structure. The main complaint that the other games received over the years was the unpopular transition from that structure to Super Paper Mario being a straightforward platformer with 3D mechanics, and the other two games using stickers or cards to fight. The Origami King does not return to the original formula, but I believe it's an interesting compromise between old and new mechanics. No longer are we restricted to that annoying hub world, but are now free to explore the kingdom yet again, while also collecting numerous items and battle enemies along the way. But then we get to the battle mechanic itself. It's definitely not the same as it used to be, but it's a lot more interesting and fun compared to the last two games. No stickers, no cards, and I'm honestly surprised that we didn't have to do some button mashing to craft our battle items like origami. Don't give Nintendo ideas. Instead, we have a ring system that operates as a puzzle and battlefield that rewards you for getting the puzzle right. You have to think quickly and align your enemies with very little turns, but will deliver heavier damage when you get the alignment right. But if you're loaded with coins and can't figure it out, or just lazy, make the skies rain with coins and make the toads do the work for you. Speaking of the toads, you'll notice them throughout the kingdom hiding or buried in different locations. Once you find them, they'll be added to your arena audience and will help you with solving the ring puzzle, give you random items to help you in battle, and even heal you. It may seem like another random collectathon for completionists to complete, and I'm sure Gerard was screaming when he saw this toad, but it's a neat feature that can also help you with your battles. That, and when you hear why the toads were scattered, buried, or went into hiding, the darker the story becomes. And speaking of which, let's talk about that story! Mario and Luigi make their way to Peach's Kingdom to celebrate the Origami Festival. Upon arriving in Toad Town, they realize that the city is empty for some reason. Once they make it into the castle, they discover that Peach has been turned into an origami version of herself, and is obeying our villain of the story, Ollie, the Origami King. Mario is sent into the dungeon in order to be turned into 3D as well, only to find Ollie's sister, Olivia, trapped in a wall. And by meeting her, Mario gains the ability to use the 1,000 folded hands trick that he can use throughout the world and in battle. Bowser is also found in this dungeon as a pizza box. Oh my god, look at him walk. And we're left to witness his minions being forced to transform into folded soldiers, and this game is just getting uncomfortable now. Oh my god, this is unsettling. Once Mario finds Peach and Ollie, the castle becomes covered in streamers and is lifted to the top of a volcano out of Mario's reach. With Olivia's help, Mario must travel throughout the world in order to take down the streamers that are covering Peach's castle and find a way to save the world from turning into Ollie's Origami Kingdom. I can definitely say the story and the villain are equally disturbing. Ollie believes that origami is perfection and will force everyone to conform to his will, whether the citizens want to or not. And yet he's only transforming Peach and Bowser's minions because his plans for the Toads are seriously disturbing, but I won't spoil the details here. Needless to say, his reasonings are petty and a little too extreme, but it matches his egotistical persona, which makes him an interesting villain. I always saw the Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario as having the most complex and interesting stories, but the Origami King story and character development can honestly compete with those two. I mean, when you look at it, the Origami King, to me, is a huge combination of all the past games combined. It has interesting characters that you won't forget, like with the original Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. It has a wonderful open world structure that makes you excited to explore, like with the Thousand Year Door. It has a complicated and dark story that will pull at your heartstrings, like in Super Paper Mario. It has brilliant writing and hilarious moments, like in Color Splash. And it has a broken environment that you can fix using your new power, like in Color Splash and with Sticker Star, and yet it's much more expanded and not as basic as Paper Mario. It's not as tedious with backtracking like with Thousand Year Door. It's not as obscure and bizarre like Super Paper Mario. It's not as weak and boring like Sticker Star, and the battling mechanic is actually fun, unlike Color Splash. Another complaint the last two games had was how useless fighting enemies really was when it just wasted your stickers and cards with no experience points or leveling being made. The same can be said with Origami King, but at least the enemies dropped a ton of confetti to help refill your bag, which you could then use to repair the broken environment. I mean, you could still get confetti from the trees and flowers, but as someone who kept throwing confetti everywhere just for fun, confetti! I couldn't get enough confetti. Confetti! Besides rescuing Princess Peach, your goal is to travel around to certain locations holding down streamers that are preventing you from entering Peach's castle on the volcano. Each area that has a streamer has its own unique style and tasks for you to complete in order to get to the streamer. The red streamer is located in a touristy mountain area, the blue streamer is in an Asian-themed mountaintop with Shogun-themed tourist attractions, the yellow streamer is in a desert area suffering from a solar eclipse, the purple streamer is basically trapped in a copy of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, complete with its own courage, wisdom, and power temples, and I can never unsee it. And the green streamer is located in Bowser's castle that happened to crash in the Shangri-La of Toad kind. No, literally, it's called Shangri Spa. That much I expected in regards to Paper Mario tradition, but I didn't really expect to run into literal elemental gods that can give Olivia new abilities to help us in our journey and battles. I mean, they add to the origami theme with Olivia's transformations, and they're pretty cool to use in battle, but I honestly didn't expect to see that. Another thing I wasn't really expecting were all the random moments that would either flip the tone of the area or subvert my expectations. Like, we're on a serious quest to save Princess Peach and the world from an origami psychopath, but I kept getting whiplash from all the randomness that occurs in this game. You thought Color Splash had funny moments? I'm sorry, but this game has soul-singing trees performing a random musical number, visiting a religious temple, desperately asking for donations while they freak out as I step upon their god. I'm stomping on your guy, what you gonna do about it? 'Cause I'm Mario, bitch. A group of friends who love hosting can opening parties. You guys do you. Mario performing on stage in a cowboy shootout, West Side Story, and a Shy Guy ballet to the most rockin' version of Swan Lake, and yes, you are seeing all of this right. Summoning a temple with the power of J-pop, stepping through a creepy tomb that's also hosting a disco party with faceless toads, help me. Obligatory celebrations from ancient temples. I like that. Being welcomed by angelic toads at a heavenly spa, a hidden game show area hosted by shy guys in the middle of a VIP spa, and let's not forget, Bowser is a pizza box. Need I say more? Oh look, you actually have side characters fighting alongside you again! It's a miracle! Kind of. In some areas you go to, you'll bump into random characters who have their own reason for being there. They don't necessarily join your party like in the old days, but some will assist you in battle. Or they just trip over themselves. Good job there. Honestly, I'm not sure if Nintendo tried to listen to us only to still do their own thing, or they just blatantly made a statement about having sidekick characters with what they did with Bobby. This is a spoiler, so you should skip to this time frame here if you don't want it, but I just want to point out how I felt about this move right here. What's that? Bobby is actually coming with us? We're actually getting a party of sidekicks again? Oh my goodness! I feel like my hopes and dreams exploded with Bobby. Oh. Did you know if you go to the Photoshop in Shogun Studio after he dies, you could take photos with his ghost? Thanks, I hate it. Also, why could other paper bombs explode as many times as they wanted to in the older games? But Origami King puts us in an existential conundrum with how the bombs easily accept their purpose and fatalities. I demand to know, Nintendo! Also, I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feels this way, but does anyone else think Mario moves very slowly? Like, I don't know if it's because I played so much Animal Crossing to the point where I'm used to speeding up my character to get around the island, but I found myself being very impatient with how slow Mario was moving, especially on Scuffle Island, where you have to fight one Mako, whatever you pronounce it, enemy after another. I'm doing my best to predict their movements and stay out of their way, but if I get my prediction wrong or take a wrong step, I'm given heavy damage. Not to mention, I felt the analog stick was extremely sensitive at times, to the point where I felt like such a failure falling off platforms that I really shouldn't have fallen off from. So it's either maneuver to the best of my ability and hope I don't slip, or take some of the platform slowly in order to make sure I don't fall. Nintendo also wanted to make this game easy enough for everyone to enjoy while still trying to make a few challenges here and there. Paying toads or the timer in battle to help you is one thing. Finding numerous items to help you in battle throughout the land is another thing. Having the game baby you after making the same mistake over and over again, like that endless heart joke from South Park The Fractured Butthole, is another gripe I have. At least the Diamond Temples offer you an easy solution for a cost, but the Fire Elemental is going to make you feel like an idiot when you fail this memory puzzle by just getting rid of the wrong blocks. Well, sorry if my memory sucks, game. And I only paid off the courage symbol, by the way, because the last challenge felt very off to me. No matter what I would do, I would either push the button too soon or not soon enough. I could never find an in-between for some reason and got easily frustrated. I tried this part so many times, but couldn't find the right time to push the button no matter how many times I did it. Take your coins, damn it! I deserve that ancient celebration, thank you very much. I did see a lot of people complain that this game is too easy. While I can say as a whole, Paper Mario was never meant to be that challenging, at least Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario gave us the 100 Trials challenge. While that was a decent challenge, the only reward you get for completing the trials is basically bragging rights. You don't really get anything special for 100% completing some of the older titles. Sticker Star and Color Splash at least try to give you something special for completing the game, but they were completely lackluster and made you feel like you wasted your time. In the case of Origami King, if you complete the game, you will get a secret ending that will definitely warm your heart. Is it challenging to get the secret ending though? You basically have to complete the Musée Champignon, which requires you to complete 15 challenges while earning the trophies when completing them. But the majority of the challenges were super easy. Win 200 battles? Easy. Collect 300,000 coins? Easy. Hit every question block? Rescue all the toads? Find every collectible? The game actually gives you accessory bells to make that job even easier. The only ones that really gave me a challenge were getting 100 points at the Shuriken Dojo, collecting collecting every coin on the Eddy River, and the most nerve-wracking challenge out of all of them, getting a perfect score on Shy Guy's finish last. Not only does the dialogue take forever to get through, but if you fail just one challenge, you have to redo the whole challenge. I actually needed my friend's help in order to help me complete some of the toughest challenges.
Michael, I did it! I had to go to sudden death, but sudden death is much easier than this crap, but I did it! Thanks, Adam!
So yeah, even though the game isn't that challenging, it actually gives a nice reward for completing all 15 challenges, so I'm honestly satisfied with that at least. Despite my minor gripes here and there, and coming to terms with the thought of never getting another brilliant game like The Thousand Year Door, I still want to cherish this game and praise it for all the good it does have. Yes, the battling mechanic can be annoying sometimes, or just flat out easy if you have enough coins, and the game will carry you through if you're starting the struggle. Thanks, Mom! But no matter what anyone else says, I believe this game has the best character to ever come out of a Paper Mario game. Olivia is just a gem. She's a sweet origami girl who's bubbly and very airheaded. She travels with you to grant you origami abilities and also help you to stop her brother. But she has some of the best and most memorable lines throughout the game.
Oh, poor Luigi. I'm sure he's met with a really bad fate thanks to my brother. Mario, can I keep this hat as a memory? I didn't know Luigi, but I miss him anyway. Oh, but I do have some good news. Your hat survived without you.
My hat? But what about the whole castle?
Aw, I thought you'd be happier to see the hat. So this is what they meant by refreshing and renewing your mind and body? Bad news, Mario. I only care about hot springs now.
Olivia is my spirit origami if there ever is such a thing. Even when she transforms into different elementals, she still keeps to her Olivia charm, as you can see here. And you can clearly see how I reacted at this very random moment.
I don't think anyone was expecting that. Good job, Olivia. Good job.
Olivia is just a precious character to me and has the most memorable moments in the game, which is saying a lot with all the other random moments you witness throughout the game, as I stated before. And without spoiling the ending, I was immensely moved and touched with what happened, while also tearing up a bit, as you can see here.
I was not ready for that. They made such an amazing character.
Yes, I miss having a plethora of sidekicks to join me on my journey like I did in the first two games. But if the game just gives me one glorious character like Olivia, I will never complain. Also, can we just take a step back and appreciate the soundtrack for this game? Like, I found myself just enjoying every track on this game, and now tempted to buy the soundtrack if it's ever available. But we don't just have amazing background music, we have memorable musical moments that took me by surprise a lot. From the trees performing a random song out of nowhere, to Olivia using the power of J-pop to open the door to the Fire of Elemental Temple, and of course, the disco number with Mario dancing with a bunch of faceless toads. This game's soundtrack is just enjoyable to listen to. And if you're asking me which score was my favorite, I'd say Happy and Sappy, Olivia Transforms, Autumn Mountain, Swan Lake Punk Remix, My Heart's a Burnin', that rockin' version of the boss fight music, and the ending score before the credits that made me tear up a bit, but I won't say why. Overall, Paper Mario the Origami King is surprisingly good. I say that not only because of how bad the last two games were, but with how stern Nintendo is being with the fandom. In a recent interview that you can react to with Arlo on his channel, the developers are making it clear that things for the franchise will never be the same. Every title will have something new and far different from previous titles, but they will also keep the aesthetic safe and recognizable. Hence why you're seeing regular Toads, Koopas, and Goombas instead of new character designs like Zesty, Koops, or Goombella. I don't know, maybe they thought Super Paper Mario didn't do so well because of all the random ideas and strange characters they had, and not because they changed the formula. So they kept it safe with Sticker Star and Color Splash, and we all know how well that went. Every Toad looks the same in these games. If diehard fans want to compare this game to the original Paper Mario style, then they'll still not like this game for being too easy and not returning returning to the original mechanic. But if we're going to judge it for what it actually gives us as a whole and as a separate game entirely, this is a really good game. And while the game will make it too easy with the toads and increasing your time limit with coins, I like to think that's a mechanic you don't have to use. Still not much of a challenge, but if you think using your coins to spend on your time limit and toads is making the game extremely easy, you at least have the option to not rely on them. It's a minor step to make things kind of challenging to players who want it, but still giving baby step to new players. It is what it is with Nintendo, but I won't take it out on Origami King since I believe it's a surprisingly good game. The story is excellent, the characters are fantastic, it's filled with delightful and terrifying moments, the boss fights are actually fun with you feeling like you're actually grabbing them to deliver the final hit, and take that, you office supplies, you! And it has a huge world for you to explore and attempt to collect everything. And let's not forget, it has Olivia. Best Paper Mario character, I'm just saying. Would I play it again? I honestly would, because I found myself too entertained by throwing confetti everywhere, and I honestly just want to go on another journey with Olivia. So yeah, even though I still think Thousand Year Door is still the better Paper Mario, I appreciate everything Origami King had to offer, and will praise it as the second best Paper Mario game in the franchise. Pop Spectrum gives Paper Mario the Origami King 4 pops out of 5. I am still shocked that it's actually good, and can only hope we get more gems like this one. Just don't make another sticker star, please. We can only handle one. Be sure to like, share, and comment on this video, as well as subscribe to Pop Spectrum. Thanks for watching!